The morning of June 6, 1944, began like any other day for us stationed along the coast of Normandy. The air was thick with tension, but we had grown accustomed to the constant threat of Allied attacks. Little did we know, this day would change the course of the war. As dawn broke, we were alerted to unusual activity. The sky was filled with planes, unlike anything we had seen before. We had heard whispers of an impending invasion, but we were confident in our defenses. The Atlantic Wall, a series of fortifications stretching along the coast, was our pride. We believed it was impenetrable, but as the sun rose higher, the reality of the situation began to sink in. The beaches were swarming with Allied troops, landing in waves. The sound of gunfire and explosions echoed in the air, drowning out the cries of our comrades. We scrambled to our positions, but the chaos was overwhelming. The sheer number of soldiers pouring onto the beaches was staggering. From our vantage points, we could see the determination in the eyes of the Allied forces. They were relentless, pushing forward despite the heavy fire. We had been told that the Allies would never dare to launch such a massive assault, but here they were, proving us wrong. It was a brutal fight, and we were losing ground. Communication was a nightmare. Orders were muddled, and confusion reigned. Some of our units were caught off guard, unprepared for the ferocity of the attack. We had anticipated a different location for the invasion, and now we were scrambling to respond. The fog of war had descended upon us, and it felt like we were fighting against an unseen enemy. As the day wore on, the losses mounted. We watched as our friends fell, one by one, their sacrifices etched into our memories. The beach was a scene of horror, with bodies strewn across the sand. It was a grim reminder of the stakes we were facing. By the afternoon, it was clear that the Allies were gaining a foothold. They had established beachheads, and our defenses were crumbling. The realization hit hard. We were losing. The morale among our troops began to wane. We had been told that we were the last line of defense, but now it felt like we were fighting a losing battle. As night fell, the sounds of battle faded, but the weight of defeat hung heavy in the air. We knew that this was just the beginning. The Allies had landed, and they were not going to retreat. The war was shifting, and we were left to grapple with the consequences of that day. Looking back, D-Day was not just a military operation, it was a turning point. It marked the beginning of the end for us. The bravery of the Allied forces was undeniable, and as we regrouped, we had to confront the reality that we were on the wrong side of history. The tides had turned, and we were left to ponder what the future held for us in the wake of such a monumental event.